I just got my 23andMe results back, and I've got a Chinese granddad and an Irish granddad. And then English.
That's why I'm laughing.
It's so funny what that is.
I think my edibles kicked in. I took one just at the start of this podcast. And you know when you're like, this ain't shit. And then the minute I heard I had a Chinese and Irish granddad, I was like...
It's a good mix.
Hey, everybody.
Hello. Welcome to another excellent episode.
Class episode, wasn't it?
We've joined by Elliot Steele.
Yeah.
All the way up from that day London.
Damn
that wasn't London.
Damn safe.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
It was great, wasn't it? Good chat.
Yes, we got all the gossip.
Some gossip. And some funny stories and that.
Juicy stories.
Juicy
right
stories.
Make sure you stick
Spoke
around.
about Amy's
23andMe results.
Inheritance, no.
Genetic inheritance.
Genetic inheritance. That's exciting. You'll hear all about that.
But
before we jump in,
shocking.
we're here to tell you, as always, about Patreon.
Guys, please get on Patreon. It is very fast growing. We're like 2 off of 500.
I think we've done it by now by the time this is out.
Probably.
We're going to have our live show from Townhouse on there soon. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be like
seeing some of the people that are coming.
Nothing.
They're going to be coming.
Oh yeah, like the big like dildos and that.
Scary.
We saw them, but then didn't she share it on Twitter and showing us like using them and stingy.
So that's going to be over on Patreon. We got some other people saying they're going to play harmonicas with the bits. It's going to be great.
Queefing a song.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Queefing through the night. So that's going to be on there. Dungeons and Dragons, which has been a massive hit. That's on there. There's going to be Stoned Bake Off. Sports Day number 2 is going to be coming soon. The original's on there. There's 12 live shows on there. You get discounts on merch, tickets, 48.
You get some at Boss
7
every
days
month,
early
and
access.
also just Ched Sheds with us in it,
And
which
Ched
is
Sheds with us.
And do you know what? So many people say like they love them, and like I'm dead grateful.
That's where all this started. This whole thing started from the Ched Sheds.
Yeah.
So if you enjoy this, like me and Amy, there's loads more of us over there. Do loads of silly shit in the Ched Sheds, fucking Taskmaster stuff, Olympics, Omegle, loads of stuff. Sometimes on substances.
But yeah, there's like well over 50 episodes now, so you can go get tucked in for them. Tucked into them for free.
Sign up, patreon.com/the Mad High Club.
I guarantee you won't miss that £3. But we really, really love and appreciate it. Thank you.
We love everyone who signs up. We love everyone that listens. If you can't afford to sign up, give us a little like, a share, comment on the video telling us that you love us if you want to.
One of these.
I feel weird, actually. Just do this. This will make sense. Do a little fucking punk. We're punk. Tell us we're punk in the comments. That's what we want. But yeah, patreon.com/the Mild High Club. £3 a month. Easy. See you in a bit. Well, we're back then.
Hello.
Episode fucking, don't know, 107 or some
Hundreds.
shit. Joined by Elliot Steele.
Hello.
How are you, mate?
Very well, thank you.
Welcome.
It's nice to finally properly meet you. We haven't properly met before, have we?
No, it's just weird. It's just like...
I feel like you know people just from online, innit? You go, I know that guy.
Just social media.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just social media makes you think you know everyone, and then you got that thing where you meet them and you go, oh, fuck, I don't know if I've met them before, so I don't want to go, oh, it's good to finally meet you. And they're like, no, do you not remember that time?
Everyone just goes,
We go
nice
way
to
back.
meet you.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, innit?
Yeah.
Everyone
Thanks
goes,
for coming up.
oh, nice to see you. Like,
Oh, it's okay. I was meant to be doing another one yesterday, Rob Thomas and Sam Wozniak's podcast, and we did do it.
I'm going to beep that out.
We did do it just in a Weatherspoons, not recording it because they forgot to book the studio. So I just arrived at Liverpool, and then Rob picked me up and just took me for a pint. And I was essentially come to Liverpool for a beer and an edible.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you come up here, we supply you with goods.
We drug you and
maybe rob you. How are you, James? You good? We're joined with James as well.
Yeah, I've done that thing of meeting comics and been like, do you remember Ipswich 2017? Mate. And they go, oh, yeah.
Man, everyone should forget Ipswich. That place is one of the worst places in the UK. Have you been?
No.
Oh, right.
No, we're going to get Ipswich on our case.
No, there's literally... Have you ever gone somewhere in the UK and gone, I don't think we're allowed to call ourselves first world? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's just like rubble. Like Doncaster's like this. You walk round and there's rubble everywhere. And you're like, look, I know Thatcher did some bad things, but tidy up. It was 40 years ago. Like clean it up.
Move the rubble.
Yeah, you don't have to have the rubble there. And in Doncaster, they want to talk to you about how they used to build trains there.
Yeah.
You're like, when did that stop? And they're like, oh, like 1912. And you go, so for over 100 years, you haven't found a new...
Left the rubble.
Yeah, St. Helens is a proper shithole, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it?
It is, yeah. There's full of hideous people.
I'm glad you said that. If I had said that, you would have fumed. But I'm glad you said it.
Say it.
Usually, that's the Wirral, right? St. Helens.
No, St. Helens is St. Helens. So it's Merseyside.
Manchester.
But it's sort of in between Liverpool and Manchester. It's where I'm from. It's where Johnny Vegas is from.
Right.
Cameron Jones.
Yeah, it's
other people.
It's like the gooch between.
Yeah, it's the gooch of...
I have a mate called Neil who's from there.
Yeah.
And he played like professional rugby or rugby league for
them.
And he was like, every story he's got is like a story where you go, you shouldn't be... He was like 40 and one of my dad's mate would tell me a story when I was like 15. And you know when you're 15 and you go, you shouldn't be telling me this story. This isn't appropriate.
Weird shit with poo.
Oh, everything. Like I've never
told
understood.
Yeah, I'm so happy this comes up every time. Because ages ago I went, rugby lads are into weird shit. She was like, you're just saying that because they're from St. Helens.
I was like,
no.
I've got a problem with everyone from St. Helens.
I went, no, rugby lads do weird shit. So every time rugby comes up, I'm like, did they eat poo? Yep, told you.
One time,
unanimous.
A plane flew over and he was like, I reckon that's why people in St. Helens are stupid because of the chemtrails. And I was like, you're stupid. You're so stupid.
It just affects St. Helens and nowhere else.
It's just a flight path. It's just so many planes come over in a day.
Do you know what I mean? But it was
I love that when local areas have like a conspiracy theory. Like there was one in Crystal Palace that aisle 7 of Woolworths was haunted. And there was another one. There was a
what? Sorry, can we go back to
woman?
That? Just some woman who used to work there or something?
No, they were just like, there's also, but they were like, there was a woman. I had a friend who worked there and they were like, aisle 7, like it's haunted.
Yeah.
I'm like, so they don't go to aisle 6.
Murder, wasn't there? Some places got slashed.
Hey, Amy's done a gig and she's here with bits now.
Yes.
I was just thinking to do that thing on elevators where they don't put like a 13, do they? Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
They don't have a floor 13, so that just doesn't have an aisle 7.
They just get rid of
5, it. Well, I can't even count anymore. 5, 6, 8. That's what I should say. Yeah.
Wow.
There was another one as well that there was this rapper, Sneakbo, got chased into McDonald's and turned into a cat.
Sneakbo?
And that was like a huge rumour in London. That was like, you know, he like does juju and black. What?
That was brilliant. Sorry, no, that sounds fantastic.
He turned into a cat.
He turned into a cat.
That's insane.
Wow. What animal would you turn into if you was a rapper who ran into McDonald's?
Depends what I was being chased by, innit? A gorilla. Yeah. I reckon a gorilla. Imagine it's turning into a gorilla. Good one.
Or something that can fly away.
Oh, you're in McDonald's.
A griffin.
That causes chaos. That.
Lion/eagle. Is that what a griffin is?
Also a cat that's like, there's a cat at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know, like that happens in shops. There's like a cat that just hangs out.
Fuck off.
But if a gorilla just took a Big Mac and went, cheers, mate.
Yeah. Insane. Be in the news, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So how did that one come about? Because like people who were there,
the area's full of fucking morons.
The people chasing him went, hey, where is he? No, there's that cat though. That must be him.
That's what happened. It's just South London, like about 10 years ago, was just. Sorry.
No, sorry, I was just.
It was just quite a wild, and it still is. Like, have you been to like South London?
No, I've not really been to London. I've only been like once or twice, just a little mooch around, and then didn't go many places.
It's great, but so there's this thing, like if you walk outside of Brixton tube station, you never know what you're going to be met with.
Oh, okay.
And it will just be someone preaching at you. My girlfriend Darcy, when she first moved there, was like, oh my God, it's so vibrant. And I was like, give it 6 months.
Yeah.
And then it just came like, I fucking hate that train station. And it just
mad people there all the time.
Chaos, actual, just insane chaos just outside it all the time. And whatever time of day. So it's not like a thing where you go out, Saturday, it's 1 a.m, it'll probably be full of drunk people. Whatever time of day you go out there, something mental is just going on.
I feel like going there just to see.
It's great.
Like a tourist attraction.
Do you like living down there?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like it.
I know people think Londoners are stuck up, and we are.
Yeah.
We are, but there is reason for it. So people go, oh, you're not friendly. And the reason you're not friendly is because on the tube, you'll one time have been friendly and then someone will have tried to stab you.
So
you go, I'll probably
just keep myself to
myself here. But if you go, you know, in some...
Cunts everywhere, we know that.
Yeah, and because it's a denser population, just by sheer numbers, you're going to get more cunts. But if you go to a park in the summer, people will be sat around drinking, having spliffs with each other, get talking, chilling. That's fine. Yeah.
Nice.
But it's just when you're on a tube as well, you don't want to talk to people, and you can't because the sound of the tube is echoing around.
And you've got to fucking get a seat as well in it, and you're like, fucking so many people. You're like, I'm spying seats and all that.
If you talk to people on public
I mean, do that
transport,
anywhere. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, get to fuck.
Yeah,
not allowed. That should be a rule. Like
when you
next to no feet on seats.
Yeah, don't talk to anyone.
But I find in the north, there's this more of a thing of, you know, if you go into a shop, people have a chat and
a bit of small talk and that.
I can't stand that.
I hate it when someone in front of me is having a chat and I'm like, can I just get saved and you keep talking? Like, can we just can you just carry on this chat while saving me? Like, I don't mind.
See, because I work
let's get me out of this shop.
And we have to like do that. We have to, because you can't come across as you're trying to sell. But I remember like...
It's so stupid when you're in a shop selling clothes, isn't it? Yeah. I'm sneakily selling you this pair of jeans. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And then I remember just being like, hello to someone, and they just went, fuck off. I was like, I'm just doing my job.
I kind of respect that. I flied.
I wish I could do that.
I flied someone in Edinburgh one time during a Fringe festival, and this bloke went to me, I morally object to comedy. I morally object to it. And I stood there with a fly and was like, yeah, that's funnier than anything I'm going to do at this festival, man.
That's funny, that one.
What's the hardest criticism you've had?
What?
Sipping the tea there, fucking hell. What's the worst thing anyone's ever said about you?
I'm sorry, this smells weird. This smells weird. I don't know if it's my mug or if it's the water, because they have a permanent hot water thing on the wall.
I like it.
And there's like a little lime scale around the old.
Glad you told me that now.
Yeah. Hot Ribena.
After I've had a few sips.
I was really enjoying it.
Kind of don't want any more though.
Hey, carry on.
Worst criticism I've had. Well, my mum's got borderline personality disorder, so my whole childhood was a constant. Yeah, so it was like a constant. So I'm quite all right with criticism, but unless it's something. This is why I hate hanging out with comedians, unless it's something I've not noticed about myself. Yeah. So, you know, when you sit down with comedians and then they make you insecure about something that you didn't know you should have an insecurity about. So I got fucked up teeth and a big nose. That's fine. I can see that. That's all right. Take the piss out of it. But when they start doing something like, you know, you're there and they're like, why'd you order a beer like that?
Yeah.
And you go, what? And they're like, yeah, you just order it like, wait, like that thing you do when you order a beer. Yeah. And you go, well, what do you mean? They're like, just cut it out.
Yeah.
And then you're there going,
what do I even do?
Do I there for days? You'll be like ordering a pint and trying to check your mannerisms.
Setting cameras up in the corners. Like, excuse me, mate, please may I have a pint? I don't know what I'm doing wrong here.
Like De Niro in Taxi Driver in the mirror. Just one Cronenberg, please.
Yeah, I remember working in retail, someone being like, why do you stand like that? Because sometimes I'll stand like this, so like a little T-Rex.
But that's just like that.
It's just my natural
stance
thing. I don't know. Yeah, and I've learned I'm very weird from podcasting as well, because
everyone's told you.
Yeah.
Comment sections.
I didn't realise how bad it was until I watched it back. But yeah, what can you do? It's who we are.
Yeah,
watching yourself back.
Just monetize it, baby.
Get used to it though.
What?
Like, get used to watching when you're doing podcasts so much, you get more used to like your own voice and how you look and that. In it, because when you first start stand up, the first one you listen back to, you go, I don't sound like that. Yeah. Who's that talking? And then
it is.
The more it goes on, you get used to it. Because
your own voice is like ricocheting in your head, so it sounds different when you hear it in yourself.
It's just bouncing around in your head, isn't it? And
I didn't realise how ridiculous my accent was coming out of me until I watched myself, and I was like, I generally a bit in my head went, what a cunt. And I was like, oh wait, that's me. Yeah. Like I didn't, because like where I come from Ford Heath, like it's the accent basically everyone has, or Croydon anyway. And then when I got into stand up, like, that's another thing I noticed about myself as well. I say like a lot when I'm thinking. I think, that's just another thing. Listening back to myself, I go, why? That's of all the words in the world to use the most, that's the one that I've chosen.
I know, yeah. I get stuck on that as well, though. Like, and I say fucking instead of
he uses it like a comma. Fucking.
Yeah.
But that's at least cool. At least you're swearing. Like's just like.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's some Croydon slang? Do you have?
God.
Or just?
It depends. It sort of differs from bits to bits of South London.
Oh yeah.
So, or not just South London, but North London. Like I think there was a point where people in North London said dizzy, and it just never got to South London. And
What does that mean?
I don't know. They just used to say it, and we just used to be like,
Well,
nah,
how would they say it? Use it in a sentence.
Oh, are you dizzy? Or it would just mean like, oh, if you're doing so, are you dizzy?
Oh, like, are you mad?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kiddlehood.
Yeah. You dizzy blood? Yeah.
And then everyone in South London there was this sort of amnesty of we're not using that. But there was a year where "say no more" was you could say it about anything. So it could be like, I spilled my tea earlier. Say no more. Oh, my mum died. Say no more. Like, it was used for everything. And it was a year of skeen. Everyone kept saying skeen, which I hated.
Never heard that one.
So that was like, if someone was lying, they would say skeen.
Oh.
You Google weird.
So they'd
UK
say.
slang.
So they call it by saying skeen or saying your.
No, they'll just say skeen. So if somebody said something and you'd be like, oh, skeen.
You call
skeen.
it.
That was the. Yeah, I've dropped so much of the slang that where I went to school and was using, because just coming out of me with my mullet and stuff, it's just ridiculous. And borderline racist as well.
So what made you decide to get a mullet?
My girlfriend said I'd look good with one.
Okay.
Does suit you.
Yeah, I've not had it cut in a little bit. I need to do. It's a lot of maintenance.
Yeah, for something that looks like there's no maintenance, there's a lot.
Yeah,
it's mad, isn't it?
I say to people, it's a shit haircut.
It's three. It's three haircuts in one.
Yeah, it's a deliberately shit haircut, not a shit haircut.
Yeah,
so there's a difference.
Right.
So when you go get something that's meant to look shit, but there's probably more skill in doing that.
In making it look bad.
Yeah. And then so I got it, and now I'm starting to see everyone with it, and I'm going,
They're big, aren't they? They're getting big now.
Do you reckon it was Theo Von? Started the mullet craze.
I hope
I don't know.
not.
I feel like it's just all vintage. I feel like it's just all vintage stuff in it. It's like everyone's wearing vintage clothes, and then they look at the models back then and like, oh, mullets and mad hairstyles.
Tiger King,
and
maybe?
that might have helped. Yeah,
Is that who inspired you? Yeah.
No, I just basically do what my girlfriend says will look good, but now she hates it because loads of other people have
so
it.
I wonder what's next for you.
Oh, I don't know, probably some mohawk or something. No, she's quite. She'll hate me for saying this. My girlfriend's Tory. She's never voted Tory, but she's a Tory.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
Tory mindset.
Yeah, she's from the countryside.
Okay.
So that's just.
So you think she was a Tory, but she's not?
No, she's not.
No, she is. Yeah,
she wouldn't vote Conservative, or if she did, she'd lie about it.
Okay.
She'd at least have the grace to say.
So she's not a Tory, but you think that she was?
No, just how some things are just Tory.
Like living in the country.
Living in the countryside, like wearing having hiking boots.
Yeah.
That's just.
So you think she's a Tory?
Yeah.
She's not.
But she's not. She doesn't identify as Tory.
Okay.
But she's not. But she's Tory.
Yeah.
But she'll. So she's sort of like with my haircuts and like with a lot of my style and stuff like that. I'm basically a project for her.
Yeah, right.
Which is like when left to my own devices, I look like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So I have this like bracelet from Asda, not even Asda, Argos that my mum got me that I put on sometimes. And she's like, when we're out, you can't wear that.
Yeah,
You're not wearing that. And I was like, why?
Sentimental.
She's like, it's not even that. And
It's George.
she's just like, it's disgusting. She's like, I can't believe that you'd actually.
Yeah.
Do you ever have it where you look at him and you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, when we met, but I've sorted that out now.
Same thing. Same things happened with me. I think, Elliot. I think, unbeknownst to myself, I've been manipulated on the inside for my outfit choices.
Yeah, but you look way cooler now. It's fine.
Yeah.
What slangs have you got there, James?
Got a top 10.
Go ahead.
Let's see how many of these are real.
These aren't. Okay, number 10. Coming in at number 10, bevy.
Bevs.
Oh. This is short word for the word beverages.
Yeah, we got that one.
Usually alcoholic. Most often beer. 9, gobsmacked. This is a truly...
Are you messing?
Right.
That's not slang.
This is a truly British expression. Gobsmacked means to be utterly shocked or surprised beyond belief.
This is English, not
This is
necessarily
like from
London,
1950s.
This is from tandem.com.
A new word on
who
the
have
street.
said this is
They were gobsmacked, I say. When the king passed, everyone was gobsmacked by the sight of the funeral.
they've done that thing of like where they try and be cool. This article, so it says like English-speaking countries and common English. Anyway, the final sentence says, so let's crack on and get to the list of British slang words in it.
Fuck me. Whoever wrote... Imagine going to journalism school and writing this. This
is written by someone in the home counties. Number 8, dodgy.
This is just words. This is just words we use in England.
I'm just going to put up like the next thing be like sandwich. And we're going to be like, that's not
because.
Imagine likes right at the top. I'd be so fucked up.
£7. Some people also refer to it as squid. My dad sometimes says that.
Squid.
Yeah, how much did it cost? Free squid. Never say that.
That annoys me when people do that when they say squid.
How is the number where you stop squid?
He'll say like 10 squid.
You say 10.
And then
would you say that, 1 million squid though?
No.
See what I mean? So where's it stop?
Exactly, yeah.
That's it. That's money mindset, isn't it?
But like, what's a pony? 100.
100, I think.
Yeah.
How much?
He also says knife.
Knife.
What does that mean?
Knife.
Like knife, but he pronounces the K.
Oh, for fuck's sake. He doesn't do that, does he?
Yeah. Stepdad.
Oh, right, yeah.
No genetic relation.
There's nothing worse, is there, than when someone's like trying to do something funny with that sort of thing, you know? You know, like when someone gets the bill and they start going, hello, and all of that, and you think you've just ruined this dinner.
Proper knobhead.
Get into a taxi, man. That best be the clock.
Oh, fucking hell.
Number 6, trolleyed / plastered.
I've never heard someone say someone's trolleyed.
Slang for drunk. Same meaning, e.g. hammered. Just say hammered then. 5, to leg it. This term means to run away.
Yeah.
Usually from some trouble.
Oh, no, you just said it like to leg it.
Yeah, because I'm from St. Elliot.
Oh, yeah.
To leg it.
See chemtrails.
Number 4. Number 4, daft.
This list's daft.
This is all. The explanation behind this is bonkers as well. Used to mean if something is a bit stupid, it's not particularly offensive, just a mildly silly or foolish piece of UK slang.
This feels like someone had to hand something in and they had like a month to do it. And then the night before just went, fuck.
Sounds like my dissertation.
Number 3, bonkers. Not necessarily intended in a bad way. Bonkers. So what they've done is they don't want to do anything that like might be deemed. So they, like if you went like, oh, that's mental, that. Yeah. Like, oh, we can't say that just in case.
Gotta say bonkers.
Number 2, lad.
But that's like a Scouse thing, isn't it? Like everyone says lad.
Yeah, lad.
Yeah, lad.
Yeah. Did he say it like Manchester and that as well?
Or mate. Or sometimes love, I think.
Listen, mate. Yeah. Listen, pal. Yeah. Listen, bud.
Yeah, London, because I say bruv.
Bruv,
but that's just London lad.
Yeah. Ah, that's cute.
Bruv.
We need a female one. People say cis, but I don't like that.
Because the cis white male.
Yeah.
Reminds you of the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Trying to be feminist.
Yeah.
That's Finkel
What's number 1?
Drop one in the comments for a female one, and we'll all start using it.
Yeah.
Number 1. Fucking hell. Number 1 is bloke.
Oh, God.
Bloke would be the American English equivalent of dude. It means
dude. No, it wouldn't. Bloke is not what you say for dude. Bloke, where's my car? What are you on about? It's not the same. Bloke, where's my car? I'm gobsmacked over here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, that list was...
that was terrible.
Yeah,
there's about 80 here, but just some like honourable mentions. Throwing a wobbly. Never heard that.
See, that's better than any of the others. That should have been in the list.
Can't be asked. The best one is so it goes like...
what was that? Can't be asked?
Can't be asked.
I think he was literally just writing his thoughts on that one.
You can tell...
Can't be asked. Oh, that's one.
There's one, and it goes skin, then fiver, then tenner. And then it says, skin is a British expression to mean being broke or having no money. Lacking fivers and tenners, see below. A fiver, £5 note. A tenner, £10 note.
So detailed. It's definitely needing to fill characters on that.
Yeah, these are...
Yeah, so like London slang was so much more ridiculous.
I'm glad you pulled that list up, though. It was fun.
Wet's one. I'm going like when I watched Top Boy and they go, I'm going to wet you. Like,
oh, wet you, stab you up, yeah. And Wagwan as well was the other one. Like I used to walk around and say those things without any well, not wet you up. I wasn't threatening to stab me, but say all of that. And then when I sort of got into comedy, I was a bit like, I should probably pull back on this because I find when I gig up north as well, I have to reference, like I love gigging up north, but I've only just figured out how to play it. Yeah. Where I have to go and do well for 5 minutes and then I can take the piss out of the area. Yeah. Because when you're southern and you come up here and you sound quite.
Just go cunt.
Yeah. Especially where someone like Tom Horton, because he is posh, he could just be like,
"Oh, London."
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. You know, and people see it as a novelty. Whereas when you're just from, you know, I find it when I go to Belfast or somewhere like that and gig, I have to be like, look, we got fucked over as well. We just live in the city, and but they see you as you're part of it.
Wet you up? Is that sounds like you're gonna turn me on?
I'm gonna wet you up.
Yeah.
It's a nicer way to.
So what was it like supporting Theo?
It was cool. It was what was it like? It was a cool gig. I think I met him partway through a tour he was doing that he was just like Daniel, when Daniel was on this talking about when he saw he had like 70 dates left of his tour and sort of I could see
overwhelmed, like
I could see that in him. And what happened was I went with Darcy and I sort of texted the venue going, hey, is it all right if I bring my missus? We get her a ticket. They were like, yep, of course. We get there. I go to side stage and they immediately took us both to the green room. Right. And I'd only been going out with Darcy for a few months. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I don't want... I just think there's a golden rule of green rooms. Like, especially if you don't know the people, don't just start bringing people in, including myself as just a support act. And they took us both in and like sat us down there. And I was just the whole time.
So you were waiting for them to come
we were in the green room with him and he was cool.
Oh, okay.
But I could see he was a bit like, who the fuck are these people? And I was going to Darcy, hey, so where's your seat and what's going on? And she was like, 147 row A. Anyway, Theo. And then started asking him about sobriety and stuff. And I was like, you're well overstepping the mark here. And then I think he had like a bit of a problem like a few weeks before. So he was like, I was 80 days sober. And then there was just this pause and we were all there. I was like, anyway, man, how was that one in Glasgow? It was cool.
The gig good though.
It was great. And then they did it in this weird way where I had to do 10 minutes or like 15 minutes, bring on his other support act. Right. And then there was a break. Then I had to do 5 and bring on Theo because they wanted to keep it like an American way, which was weird. But I supported Shane Gillis at the same place with Aaron McCann and Roe. Yeah, right. And that was so much. Like I put it on my Insta story yesterday. It was one of my favorite gigs. Not just because, you know, with Shane, I was watching 2 mates of mine who I'd sort of started out with be really good. Yeah. And you know, when you're like, oh, this is fucking cool. Like watching your mates do
Sounds
this.
Sick, That's boss.
Yeah, Shane's amazing. Theo's amazing. Who's your favourite comedian?
Oh, I get early Doug Stanhope. Well, because my dad's a comedian. I'm in this all because of nepotism. I'm a nepo baby. We're not too popular at the minute. And I sort of grew up. My dad's a very political comedian, so I saw so much political comedy. I remember when I first got Netflix, I was about 14, 15 years old. My dad would go away on tour, and I'd just sort of stay at home, and I would just watch comedy all the time. And I watched Louis C.K.'s 2008 special, Chewed Up. Yeah. And if you know the opening of that special, you know what the opening of that special is. I've never seen anything like that and haven't seen anything like that since. And I watched that and was like, I didn't know you could do that. And then when I
thought it was all fucking politics and shit like that.
Yeah, I thought you had to go out there and be like, bro, Tony Blair, isn't he a prick? And I didn't know you could do that. Yeah. And then I started watching Jim Jeffries, Doug Stanhope, people like that. And I was like, oh, that's what I really like. Because I grew up enjoying Frankie Boyle and things like that. But then seeing that and, you know, and still political as well. I think Doug Stanhope's one of the greatest social commentators in comedy there's ever been. And his early, he has a special, it's in black and white. I think it's my favorite special. And I forgot the name of it. But that to me is like the greatest stand-up special I've ever seen. But who are you guys?
It's hard.
I really like Shane Gillis, Mark Normand.
Yeah, Mark Normand.
They're great.
Yeah, it's the American ones, isn't it?
They're so much better at it.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because we're all like over a year. I think it's the telly and that is a bit Tory. So if you're not that, like for example, chav culture has been so demonized that we've been ashamed to be ourselves, and I think that's affected it. Just like being a scruff, like just proudly being a scruff, because that's like proper working class culture, and I think it's not been. Because I just think working class is dead funny.
Yeah, it's been like cherry picked by people who think that's it's
a bit
thing.
scummy, or so like we're going to be proper on the telly, do you know what I mean? But it's not real. Like everyone pretends that they're not all doing coke and that. I don't know.
No, they're not cool like that.
No,
they're not fun. I've met these comedians. They're not fun.
I just didn't know what your point was.
I don't know what the point is.
You were saying about American stand-ups being better.
I think
because I love. I don't know. There's just a lot of people I love who like are rough asses. Yeah, like right. Theo.
Yeah. Joey Diaz and that.
Joey
Diaz. Sloss is one of my favourites.
Yeah, he's the
class man.
Yeah, he's he won't like me saying this, but I think X is probably the greatest stand-up special show I've ever seen live.
Class,
definitely.
Mate, yeah.
And then Dark and Jigsaw are also like just so good. He was the first person I saw do a show where he took club level hit rate and applied it to what would be deemed as the Edinburgh Fringe model. Yeah. But I don't think he did it like as a deliberate. It was just the way he worked.
The way he done stand up.
And the way he did stand up was so good. I remember first seeing him do those, I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And that was again. I'll probably put him in one of my favorite. Oh, he's definitely influenced me like more than probably anyone else.
Yeah, he's class.
Liam Williams.
What?
Liam Williams.
Liam Williams.
Yeah. Who? He's from Leeds.
Oh,
they're good.
Okay.
I think
I know Liam Williams. Yeah.
I don't think he does stand up anymore. But we had this series on BBC Three called Ladhood that was that good.
It's amazing.
Oh, right. Okay.
But I wish more people would watch it. It's like a smart in betweeners.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like we talk about working class culture. It's sort of from the point of view of a middle class lad trying to fit into a lot of like working class culture, and it's really well done. Yeah. He's an exceptional writer.
I also don't want to derail this podcast and sound like an absolute freak, but are you in the coveted London five-a-side?
Yeah.
I think you play football with like my hero, who's Ellis James.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
What's he like?
he's a good winger.
Because I've heard him mention it. I've heard like you only be mentioned like this thing where like
it's not this coveted five-a-side. It's just in Elmer's End, and most people can't be fucked to come to Elmer's End because it's a bit. There's no tube near it or anything. Yeah. So I think people think it's a lot more like insular than it. You just join an email list, and then if you can play, you can play. It's not. But yeah, Ellis was on the circuit. Ellis was just getting off the circuit just as I kind of got onto it.
Right.
There's this weird thing with the circuit where you come onto it just as someone's leaving.
Right.
So you gig with them a few times. You're like, they're great, and then you just never see them again.
Yeah.
That's bonkers. That when you first start out and you're like, I wonder what they're doing now. And you're like, you look at the bill when you're on with them, like, what?
Oh yeah, it's weird. Then it's just people who were starting out with you.
Yeah.
And then like 6 months later they've stopped or whatever, and you're like, oh, there's so many that started just like a few years ago with me who don't do it already. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've already fucked it off. Like,
got my second gig tomorrow.
Really? How are you feeling for it?
Yeah, I just sort of want to get I want to know what my 10 minutes is. Then I've got something that I know is good.
That's a great play. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Attitude, yeah.
So I did 5 last week and it went well. And then tomorrow I'm going to do 10. And I'm just trying to so I'm doing stories about my life and stuff. But even that I think might be quite shocking to people to hear, because I slept on a man's couch for 3 years when I was 15. But people aren't used to hearing that. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what I was saying about working class culture isn't. I mean, maybe that's not working class culture. Maybe that's just being a hillbilly.
You can't be like, it's like you can't have Fritzl's daughter be on and be like, I was locked in the basement, working class culture. No,
you know how it is. So I'm just through watching stand up, I know audiences can react a different way from women saying stuff to men saying stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed that recently with the when you were saying you were going to do your first gig and that. Anytime I was watching a female act, anytime they do something dark, the audience would probably pull back but anytime a male act on something dark, it was either an ooh or a laugh and that. Do you know what I mean?
And all my stuff's gonna be bit gothic or it's just a bit heavy.
Have a tinge of darkness.
That's
to
all.
it,
That's who I am.
Yeah.
That's it, though, innit? That's what you just do you on stage, and then your audience will find you eventually. You've already got an audience, which is
that's a weird thing. So my first gig, I had a fella come down from Accrington to see me. And then people coming up to me after the show asking when I was gigging next and stuff. And I was like, well, just let me have a shit on stage, please. In private. So it's like a weird pressure. Yeah, so I don't know, just like documenting it, I guess. Yeah, 'cause it's a weird starting point.
Yeah.
But yours was probably a weird starting point because your dad.
Yes, I actually don't like my dad's audience coming to see me.
No.
Very different comedy.
Yes, very different comedy as they find out. And like I'm quite dark. I like doing sort of dark stuff, and I try to remain apolitical. I like arguing both sides on stage or just taking a piss and just trying to be funny.
That's where you should be as a comedian, innit? Really,
yeah,
being able to go both sides and like not really lean any sort of way on stage. Obviously, off stage you can do whatever you want, but like. Yeah, be
a Nazi, who gives a fuck? But like, as long as on stage you're like concise and in the middle.
Well, Kanye's back on side now, innit? He watched 21 Jump Street.
That's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, he watched 21 Jump Street and was like, "Hey, Jonah Hill's funny, you know, them Jews, all right." And then just
bonkers, isn't it?
Insane, bonkers. There you go.
Sorry, yes.
Why would if that was the reason you stopped hating Jews, why wouldn't you think up of a better, like, would you not just think of, hey, I've done a lot of reading?
He doesn't have to though, does he? Does what he wants. He just goes, yeah, what's 22 Jump Street? It was hilarious. You guys are okay. Mad.
God,
which is
mad.
Alfie Brown should do that. with Don't Be a Menace.
Hey, I watched Friday.
It's ironic though, because the film he's just released, that You People, is a 2-hour film about like race and like, Judaism and
can't get along. And that.
Yeah. It's like, watch that, can you? No, I watched him being undercover policeman in a school, and that's what did it for me.
Yeah, mad that. What were they even saying there?
But yeah, that's the
right wing, left wing, whatever on stage, and then your dad. You didn't want to do political crowds coming to see you and that. Yeah,
I just don't want. Like, there's cool if. People in this job who are from nepotism who don't admit it are the worst fucking people in the world.
Yeah,
like they suck. So I think one, just own like that bit of nepotism, but also you don't. My dad's audience are all in their 50s or 60s and love Radio 4.
Yeah,
I've got nothing to offer them.
What did he? How did he? Like, did he guide you to become a comedian?
Yeah, he it was kind of his idea. He always knew I wanted to do it. Again, I'm a nepo baby. He helped me get like. I kind of bypassed the open mic circuit because of who my parent was.
It's not your fault that he was your dad, though, is it?
Hey, I wish I had a dad to get me something.
Yeah, but that's why you're going to be a better comedian than me. My stories are all like just kind of like, you know, when people talk about how hard it is at the beginning, and I'm like, I was no, not for me. But that sort of bit me in the arse later on because I was so arrogant when I was a teenager because I thought I was great.
You learn a lot on the open mic circuit as well.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? You learn loads doing that that way. But like, yeah.
Yeah, and then I got too into partying and all of that because I was young as well. I started way too early. I was 16.
Right, yeah.
And that's a stupid age to do comedy.
What did you even write about? Like
girls.
No. No. Oh, God, it's so bad. Like, it was really, really bad. Yeah. It was all about... I guess I don't talk about anything too dissimilar now. I'll just do it a bit better. I'm just going through my old set and I'm like, no, you don't differentiate. Like, going out partying, I was a lot more laddie.
You weren't even old enough to go out partying, really?
No, I used to have to lie at some gigs, go, I'm 18 to go and play there. Or if I was doing a gig, they'd be like, can you not say you're 17 on stage or 16? Right. Yeah. Can you just, leave that? And I was like, you know when you've got a serviceable 10, but you haven't got 20.
Yeah.
And that's like, I think the hardest stage of comedy that I've been through is you could smash the 10.
Yeah.
But the 20, like, you're going to do a good bit and then be like, so do people get the train here?
Yeah, right.
The trains are weird, aren't they? And that sort of padding.
Bulk,
yeah. But no, it was, so having a parent in the industry was just like, it opens doors for you. It does so much more. But what was incredible was how I managed to close those doors with my attitude. My person I do a podcast with BTEC philosophers, Michael Dewale, says he's never seen someone use nepotism so ineffectively.
I may be a nepo baby, but I'm a bad one. Yeah, that's funny, man.
But then, like, I wouldn't have been on roast battles if my dad wasn't. But he also wouldn't have been on it if he didn't have a son who did comedy. So we were both kind of there using our...
It must have been fun, though.
Oh, it was one of the best things I've done in my career.
Yeah.
Like, it was so much fun.
Yeah, it'd be class.
But like, working with my dad is a nightmare.
Right. Okay.
It's just I can't do it.
Just two different people, like.
Yeah, he's as well. My dad has always been a comedian before he's been a parent.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
You know how comedians are. Well, growing up with a comedian is fucking annoying and difficult.
Yeah, he's fucking always everywhere while he's away all the time and shit as well. And like, yeah, you've got to go away to work and
you're
shit.
You're a sole
in
trader, aren't you? So you're your main focus.
You have to work in it, otherwise you can't pay for the baby.
Yeah, but then he, you know, and I'm grateful of that. But then he, you know, he's got that little bit of narcissism and stuff that we all have, where the world is centered around ourselves. And I catch myself doing it a lot of the time, where like my girlfriend will be telling me something and my first reaction is, how does this affect me though? Because like she'll be telling me something that happened to her at work and I just want to tell her, oh, I did this really funny bit on the podcast today, could you watch the clip of it and then tell me it's brilliant and how brilliant I am? I don't want any feedback that isn't you're amazing. And that sort of level of narcissism, I catch myself having it. So I grew up with that as well, which was so when I go to work with my dad, I find it quite challenging. Yeah, because the landscape of comedy has changed so much since he was on the circuit as well.
Right. Yeah.
It's a very different place now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It was punk when he started. It was all a very sort of
underground style.
Yeah, stuff, it was just like people in a pub getting up. There used to be this guy called the Iceman who just got up and melted ice. Pardon?
Wim Hof.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah,
he just melted ice.
Yeah, he just got up and he just put a block of ice on stage and got like a blowtorch and melted it. And then someone would just go on afterwards, and that was his act. Right. And that guy got booked.
I'm spending too much time writing material.
Dude, that person was booked for gigs.
Did people laugh at it?
No, people just sat there and watched him do it. There was no standard.
That's insane.
There was no like. It just makes the stage a little bit soggy.
Yeah. That's insane.
That's mad.
Wow. Well, thankfully we're at a better standard of comedy now. It's just harder to fucking do it now, isn't it?
Yeah. What was Sloss's stag like?
Yeah, it was great. I went to Vegas. Vegas was fun.
It was a good fame of yours, like, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was like 22 of us or something, and which was great because a group that big can't be led. Really, so you will kind of end up fucking off and doing different things with different people.
What are you doing? Oh, we're going here. Oh, I might go with these then. And
But what we all want to know is what got cut out of the roast.
There's been a lot of even this being brought up. Like if they find out that nothing got cut out of that roast, a lot was just stuff that couldn't. I think.
Personal stuff and shit like that you know between yous, but you might not want out publicly.
Or other people.
Yeah.
That's it,
Yeah, and just, I think if it's about someone in the room, that's fine.
Yeah.
If it's then about people who aren't in the room, who might not know that we were going to laugh about that.
Yeah, right.
Because we're all quite fucked up individuals who will find, you know.
Oh, funny in anything.
Yeah, funny.
I'm funny in anything.
You know, just bringing up horrific shit.
Yeah.
I think if some people were to then watch us, or people, you know, would find out that they'd been spoke about, would be a little bit more, you know, just for my own thing, like my girlfriend, like, should probably find some of it funny, but some of it should be like, what? And I'd be like,
saying that about me?
And you just go, and then she'll be like, you laughed at it, you didn't defend my honour. And I'm like, man, I clapped. I led the applause.
I said it.
So is it an heavy one though? Or was you?
Yeah, Vegas is, you've got to go if you ever get to just do it.
I went for UFC 200.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. What was that? Adesanya?
No, 200
Lesnar Hunt.
Lesnar Hunt. It was meant to be Jones DC and it got cancelled the day before.
Fuck.
It was originally meant to be McGregor Diaz.
Fuck.
And then that changed to Jones DC.
Which is a better
And then that changed to DC Anderson Silva.
Oh, and is that the one where DC just lied on top of Silva for the round? Yeah.
But we went for like the fight week and that. So
great.
We didn't go like partying or anything. We just done loads of UFC stuff.
And just went to the conference.
In the days, I just sat in the lazy river with a frozen margarita the whole day, and I went let's go watch people punch people's heads in.
Yeah,
it was class one.
We also saw 193 in Melbourne, didn't we? Which was Holly Holmes, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. No way, you were there for that.
Yeah.
That Holly Holm has dined on for the rest of her career.
Yeah. That was amazing.
It was crazy that one.
Yeah, I was meant to be going to Usman Edwards a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I do this thing for BT Sport, this like football show, and I was like, "Do you reckon you could get me tickets to it?" And they were like, "Oh, if you did some social media thing for us." And then like the week before, they were like, "It's not happening," and they told me they got me the press pass ticket, cage side seat. So I'd been like telling everyone at my gym, like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna," and then I was like. No, they said I'm too dangerous. They can't have me there, you know. Like if I start shouting instructions, it might dictate the fight a little bit.
I might win a belt. I promise I won't win a belt.
Yeah. So yeah, but did you get into the UFC for doing, or did you enjoy it?
Yeah. No,
it's the only sport I follow, really.
Right.
So like every Sunday.
It's the only sport I'll entertain.
Yeah.
Because it's proper.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Proper stuff, yeah.
But like every Sunday, if there's been one, I wake up and the first thing I do is I have a coffee and I sit and watch all the fights.
Mate.
I have to do it, otherwise I can't do anything because I can't go on my phone because it'll spoil it.
Yeah.
I can't do anything. I can't because I'm thinking about just watch them and get them on my way and then
I've never carry on with my day. Be dedicated to anything like he is to UFC. Like that is his one true love.
Oh man, I'm the same. Sunday morning I make my coffee, I sit there, and sometimes Darcy watches it with me, and then a couple times I realised I was really enjoying that she was watching Francis Ngannou Stipe Miocic.
Right, okay.
And then I saw her pull a face when Francis was stood there flexing, and I realised, oh, we're not watching this for the same reasons. I was just there, and I was just like, all right, so my fantasy when I watch this is I'm knocking out Francis Ngannou and I'm taking his back, and yours is he's taking your back. Like, there's a very different thing going on here, isn't there? And both of our fantasy, and in my head I'm like, but mine's more likely.
I just like the violence.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, isn't it? It's just as close as you'll get to modern day gladiator shit.
It's Colosseum.
Yeah.
My dad got me into it about 15 years ago when he first met me, and I think he'd gone through I think he was struggling to try and find things to
bond with you.
So we got we got on with football, but he was trying to find other stuff.
Want to see a dead body?
He was, well, he was just like, do you want to watch people?
Someone's playing pool.
He was like, do you just want to watch people get volleyed in the head for 2 hours?
Yes,
that faced the pain at the beginning. I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And it was around Forrest Griffin was at his.
It was crazy back in the day. And they were all just on steroids phenomenal. And that, just punching each other's heads in.
I've never been to. I'd love to go to a live one. I think it'd be. I went to a fan expo when it came to London, and my dad kind of forced me to get photos with the Nuts magazine. And it was you got to meet all
he was getting that picture for him, by the way.
He was like,
yeah, it's just James that.
You know, he's absolutely, go on, get in there.
There's one of us in the octagon facing off. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And that's overshadowed by me. And he goes, we are not leaving here until you get your photo. Go on. And I think he was trying to do it his way of go on. It's just, they're only going to you're 13 and
might kiss you on the cheek.
Yeah. And he's like, go over. Yeah. You will get a photo with him.
That's so your mum's gonna love it.
No, I love it. I tune in every weekend, and it's just fucking. It's. Have you ever been to amateur MMA and watched amateur fights?
No, I've been to a boxing. I've been to a few amateur boxing, and I've been to Cage Warriors.
Oh right, yeah,
which is an amateur, but it's standard, but it's not UFC level. Do you get what I mean?
No, but they're still
fights are still amazing.
Yeah,
but it's not as big as a UFC event. Do you know what I mean? But it's not like an amateur fucking
amateur
in a conference room somewhere.
That's why amateur's great, because no one really knows anyone's skill level. So you could be someone who's potentially going to be a world champion against some lad who's doing it to lose weight, and his gym has just asked him to jump in. And you see the craziest fights because people are fighting for the first time. They're scared. All the technique goes out the window.
That's why I like watching the prelims on like Cage Warriors and that. It's people trying to make an impact. They do wild shit, and it's also like nerves and fucking you don't know what's going to happen. But you get people taking more risks because they're like they're on the prelims and they're like, I need to show people that I'm fucking here. And then you just see crazier fights.
Ultimate Fighter's good as well.
Oh yeah, that's
like X Factor.
Yeah, it is.
The new one's
McGregor.
McGregor and Chandler, and is the new one.
Oh really?
That'd be good,
I love it because I love reality TV. That's my like secret shame.
I love reality TV.
Love reality TV. What's your favorite reality TV show?
I don't know. What have you been watching recently? Like that Love is Blind was great.
Love is Blind was good.
The guy when he's putting
watch all the
water
fashion
in his eyes for the do you remember that?
Absolute psychopath.
I saw the first season.
Oh, okay,
in the
so this is
second
the
season.
latest one. Yeah, so he's like doing his interview and he's like obviously not asked. So he's like, excuse me a minute, and puts water in his eyes and then carries on. He's like, I'm so upset.
The blonde American with the teeth.
No, he was like an Asian guy.
Asian,
I'm so happy that guy went on reality television.
Mad.
That's what I want though. I want like
Traitors was a beast as well.
Traitors was brilliant when they were screaming at each other in breakfast. I was watching that at Christmas at my girlfriend's. Like, we're having this beautiful time of year with our families around. I'm like, yeah, call him a cunt.
In all seriousness though, we should get a group of comedians together to do something.
It would end in murder.
Yeah, that's good. That's why.
If we all went away for like a week and just filmed it over the week, it'd be class.
It would be so horrific.
We can all put it on our Patreon. On everyone's.
We'll all split it, yeah.
That would be good, actually.
It'd be so good.
So the Highlands.
Get Sloss and Kai involved in that and fucking, it'd be so
Oh,
so
Kai
sick.
would be the worst for it. Yeah, Kai.
I love Kai.
Kai doesn't let things go that have happened 7 years ago that you forget about. So you'll be sat there and you'll say something, be like, oh, that's like that night in that Brewdog when you sharked around and you didn't realise you were doing it. And you're like, what? And he's like, yeah, do you not remember? And you're like, do you keep a list on your phone, you fucking psychopath?
He's very attentive,
Yeah, he's just very like...
He doesn't seem like he would be,
looks like
though.
He's not paying attention.
Well, really, he's in his head just listing everything.
Yeah, he just drives home just like saying it all to himself.
That's funny, that.
Wow.
I loved Love Island as well.
I've never watched Love Island.
I've never watched it either.
I knew I'd love it, though.
It's shit now, but it was really good because what I loved about it is it took a good-looking guy from a small town who was clearly just the good-looking guy in his town, or a good-looking girl they could just get laid whenever they wanted. That everyone bowed down to them because they're beautiful, and put them in an environment where it was now a level playing field. So they would either realize they didn't have a personality and freak the fuck out and start screaming at everyone, or go, oh my God, I've not got anything to me, and then figure themselves out a little bit and figure out who they were. And it actually came quite cool to watch for that level, but now it's all influencers, so they're quite happy not having a personality.
Are you trying to tell us you wasn't looking at the tits?
There was that as well.
Sound like James's dad.
There was...
just watching Love Island for the personality shifts.
Getting James to get pictures next to the TV whenever Molly May popped up. Go on, get in it.
My favourite ones in that are where like there's like an odd number of, there's like one more guy than there are girls, and there's always one guy who's like left out, but he's trying to act like he's not arsed. It's like, no, I'm just really happy for the rest of the lads, you know, I'm absolutely pumped for them.
Man, that's the story. That's the story of my school life. Just everyone else, me just like getting like setting a record of Mario Kart or something. Just getting laid.
Would you say reality TV is like your addiction? Because we ask about your addiction as well.
Probably Coke.
And Coke. No. What about together?
No, my addiction. No, it would be. I guess what I've realised as I've got older, my addiction would be just. I don't like going home. I don't like being alone. So like going out and whatever that was to stay out would be drinking, partying, drugs.
FOMO?
Yes.
FOMO or?
So just socialising and being out and not being by myself was kind of a thing that I kind of had to learn to come quite comfortable not doing that.
Yeah, I think I've had to do that as well. Now I quite like if I go away gigging and that, just spending time just on my own for a few hours and that, just chilling. But when I was like younger and that, it was literally just get home from school, get changed, go back out, and then going out barefooted. What are you doing tonight? Anything happening tonight? We'll go out tonight, do something. Just never wanted to be on my own kind of thing. Yeah, I'm onto that. Yeah.
Is that a lot of comedians like that? Do you think? Or you probably have the full spectrum of everyone in it.
Like, so many people doing comedy in it.
There's that, because there's also the other side of the people who just do the gig and fuck off, and I always think like that's rude.
Yeah,
like, you don't want to hang out with people. What one do you reckon you're going to be? Do you reckon you're going to be a hangout or a turn up and fuck?
It all depends what's going on after the gig. I think if you've got to drive somewhere,
there's a lot of people who don't like in this industry.
Right.
Already.
Not even 2 gigs in. You're like, they can fuck off. You've got the hang of
it. Right. Here's the thing. I was like heavily isolated as a child.
Right.
And so like when we had our lockdown, I was like, oh, this again. Piece of piss. Okay. I was fine.
Yeah.
So I'm just doing this job because I've avoided socializing. I've doing this job to make myself socialise, so I've monetised socialising, which is very, very me. And so I'm getting better at it, but I do find it draining still. Like after our first live show, because we do live talent shows, after the first one, I had to just lie down for like a week because it was proper overwhelming.
Right.
But now I enjoy them. So I don't know how I'm going to be, to be honest.
I think it all depends what's happening after, because like sometimes you've got like a 2-hour drive, so it's like, I don't know, I'm just going to get going now. But if like staying over or you're there for the weekend or whatever, always stay and hang out like and watch people.
I really want to. I'm just like scared. Like I don't want to be that guy who's like, hey guys, we're all going out, right? And then I've got
oh no, I mean even just chilling for the rest of the gig.
Yeah,
you know, like sticking around watching the rest of the show and chatting and that. But yeah, I
also like getting in bed.
Yeah,
I'd always rather be in bed.
Yeah.
Not an Emma mattress, you know. It's not going to use itself.
Yeah, there is always that part to it. Like when I got to my hotel today, I was just like lying down in the bed, just scrolling TikTok, and I have shit to do as well. And I was just there going like, nope, I need to watch this guy. Watch a TikTok beef between 2 people I didn't know about 30 seconds ago.
I heavily invested in it.
Yeah, but that as well, that like hanging out after a gig is. I think it's fun because sometimes you become friends with people that you would have never come friends with otherwise.
Yeah, right.
And that comes this really cool thing where you have a weekend with someone. And it's not that anything mental happens, but you go out, you have a few beers afterwards and then you're like...
I had it just the other day with... I went to the Isle of Man with Freddie and Alex Boardman.
Great.
And I've never really spent that long with Alex.
He's great.
And I spent like a full day with him and I was like, oh, fucking sound him. Like I knew he was sound, but like... When we left, we were like, oh, proper nice getting to fucking spend a bit of time with him and that's what I mean.
40-year-old blokes in comedy go one or 2 ways. They either come sound or they come the weirdest cunts you've ever met. Yeah. They go, I'll tell you what, kids, 90, that's when you should have been in this. Jonglers every weekend, you made $1,000 a week. You got 40 million quid a year. It's gone to shit now. And you're like, I'm having fun.
No, Alex, he's class, man, and he had a proper good time there. Like, his boss. Shout out Paddy as well. Big Kiwi over there. He's fucking fan of the podcast. We were in this little pub. There's a pub called Quids Inn. You have to pay £1 to go through a turnstile to get in.
Great.
And then the drinks are dead cheap in there. And we were in there, and there was a big fella in there. And I went to Alex. I went, hey, I wouldn't want to fight him. Like, he'd be a fucking nightmare to fight. And next thing, he's a fan of the podcast. And I wasn't. And I was like, I'm fucking made up. You're on my side. And then kicks off me, you know, because he was massive.
That's such a bloke who watches UFC thing to do. Walk into a place here, guy, and be like, oh, he'll be a fucking handful, you know. Because you still train, right?
I don't still do, but I used to,
Yeah, you did. You were all right, weren't you?
I don't know. It depends who you're going with, innit?
Yeah.
So, like, with my mates and that, one of my mates who I used to work with always used to try and fight me. Just to see how long he could last, because he didn't know anything, so it was a piece of piss for me. He was strong, but I'd just wait for him to get tired and then go, uh-oh.
Well,
so it'd just be a matter of time. Like,
Elliot, is that when we after we finish our gig every week. Sometimes if I say goodbye to him, like, "Oh, come in, he'll give me a hug," and he'll slip a double underhook.
Every time.
I do that with my missus.
I go, oh, double unders.
I gotta give her a hug, and I'm like using gable grip or something, and I'm there.
Can't show affection. Yeah, you must strangle.
No, I don't think she knows I'm doing it, but I was just like, and sometimes I do it, and it's like thought comes into my head, and I'm like, she has no fucking idea.
I just go little squeeze there.
I can't do anything.
But yeah.
Sometimes like we're cuddling and I'm slipping like I
time.
pretend like I'm in half guard, and I'm like, oh, if I went into there, she was there.
Having sex going. But yeah, I always do it. Like, look at people. If anyone's got cauliflower here, I'm like, fucking stay away from him.
I've started.
Usually they're the soundest ones, though.
Yeah.
People who can fight usually don't start fights. So if there's anyone fucking being a knobhead, most of the time, you're like, oh, this guy doesn't know how to fight. He might have been in fights.
Yes.
But he doesn't know like how to properly fight, if you get what I mean. A lot of the time.
Have you been in a fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been in a couple. I was in one in another week, a few weeks before I went to Vegas because, as I was saying outside Brixton Station, I thought I'd edit this part of the story out. This guy pushed a guy in front of a bus because he owed him 40 quid.
Oh, shit.
Like, started attacking him, so I took him like and was like, mate.
Yeah.
And it just went. So I threw a leg kick at him and just walked him down, and then someone talked him away.
That's right.
And like pulled him away, and the guy was like, it was so funny because it was so South London. This guy was going, brother, look how he's walking you down, you know. Like it was so South London. He's like, look at you, bro, you in. Like it was so South. And then I walked back and Darcy was pretty shaken. She was upset, and I was like, not tough or anything. I just grew up in Croydon. Like, I've not been in many fights, but I've just seen a lot of random acts of violence. Like when you go out in Croydon or Thornton Heath, it's a bit of a weird area like that. So I was just a bit like, oh, you know, that happens. And I'm not going to lie, a little bit of me was like, is she not going to acknowledge the technique of the leg? Am I not, you know, like, is she not going to put a mic in front of my face and I get a call out and have a crackhead? So yeah, but I used to, when I first started Muay Thai, I trained at a very strict sort of culty gym in Thornton Heath. Some of Britain's best Muay Thai fighters have come out of there. I wasn't one of them at all. But
apart from in the streets.
And, but that, I think then when I first started training, I was so angry because I was so picked on and bullied at school that I would then look to resolve that childhood.
Right, yeah.
If someone looked at me funny, this was my chance because I never fought back at school to suddenly now fight back, which is a really dangerous thing to do because one, never mind, you could end up getting stabbed, all of that. You know that. You could really hurt someone, like a little bit of training. If you train for 8 months pretty consistently and someone else doesn't fight and you get into an altercation with them, you can really fucking hurt someone.
Up bad. Yeah.
And I had a mate who's an MMA fighter who was like, you know, a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing because you don't know. It's like Dunning-Kruger effect in it, where when you first start something, you think you know everything about it. Yeah. And then the further you go on, you realise it's like this ocean of nothing. And I think when you first start martial arts, you have this real, I could just, you know, put that guy on the ground and throw an elbow in his face. But that could fucking kill someone pretty easily.
There's a lot of damage in it. Like,
have you guys ever been in a street fight?
I haven't, no.
No.
I had a guy try and fight me because he thought I was foreign.
What the fucking sorry that I laughed at that, but it's such
a weird. It is funny though because he didn't know what foreign I was. So he was bladdered on the train. He was bladdered and he was going, Turkish. And I went, what? And he went, you fucking Turkish. I went, I'm not Turkish. And he went, Italian. And I was like, what? And so he's just naming like different countries and that where he thought I was from. And I just kept going, lad, I'm from England. I don't know what you want me to do. And then it's just as I got up to get off, he got up and I just like pushed his head. Pushed him back into his seat because he was bladdered. I just went, stop that.
Oh, like a Jedi sort of mind trick.
He was fucked, man. Like he was so drunk, you could have just pushed him over. Well, I did, but like if he actually was trying to fight you. But I've only ever been hit, and as I say, I've never been the type to get into fights and that, or fight back or whatever. One time was like
I'm
some 40-year-old man.
But I've never needed to fight like anyone. Someone tried to take my glasses off me once. And I just said,
you haven't got them back?
I just went, no.
Sorry.
I have quite. I'm really working on it. It's like the one thing that I really want to work on myself about is my immediate jump to aggression. Immediate, like if something's a 6, I take it to 10 because I'm quite ready to just fight at any moment, which is something that's come from my childhood that I've noticed ever since being with my girlfriend. Not that I try to fight her. We get, sorry, you didn't do the dishes, and I'm like, oh, you want to fucking go, bro? Like, but I've noticed that about myself, and it's something that I'm actually very much ashamed of, where I've probably been in things I didn't need to be in. I was also doing it because it kind of was fun. Right. When I was younger, it was kind of like this thrilling, fun thing. And you could seem tough and hard, which I'm not. So I was doing that to try be perceived as that.
Masking it in it.
And
like a lot of, not saying you was a bully, but that's what bullying is, innit? As well. Like, I didn't know what your case was, but like bullies do that. They act like, I want to hit him and fucking fuck with him because I don't want anyone to fuck with me.
Yes.
It's insecurity a lot of the time, innit? So that's the same thing. It's like you're trying to show like a fucking... Because you're scared or whatever, you start and fight or whatever.
Kind of. I think it came from the fact that I got bullied, that now I had this thing when I was like sort of...
Like a chip on your shoulder.
Chip on my shoulder. And then someone on the train, like that drunk guy you were talking to, and you'd ignore it. And I would see it as like, oh, I can resolve my childhood by attacking this drunk 19-year-old who, like, and it's a really... But there's also times where I've used it, like some guy attacked a woman on a bus I was on one time. I took him down and just like choked him, which sounded way sexier. I choked him I put him in a arena. I didn't just like,
spitting on him.
And like pinning his hands to go for the Kimura, but like in a sexy way. And then I was really cool about it. I let him back up. I was like, look, dude, just calm the fuck down. Get back on the bus, chill out. We're all going home. It's like 3 a.m. in London. No one wants this. And he got back up and threw a brick through the bus window. And then this one guy came off the bus and was like, you're a fucking pussy, old bruv. Why didn't you? He was like, why'd you let him back on the bus? And this guy just started berating me for not fucking this like clearly troubled crackhead up a little bit more. So he was stood there like, look at this dickhead stood there. And then he lets it back. And I was just like, sorry, you've now got to get an Uber. What made you get into it?
Training and that. Just I started when I was dead, like 18 or something, with just some of my mates. They just used to do it. And I was just wanting to get in the gym, and I wanted people to go with, and the only people that went to next gym.
Oh, Paddy, that's where Paddy.
Yeah. So it was 2 of my mates went there and there was a boxing gym underneath it at the time. So we used to go boxing circuit training and jiu-jitsu and that. And then I didn't do it for a few years, and then I just wanted to get like I like exercising, but I don't like going to the gym.
Right.
Like it bores me, like lifting weights, repetition, boring.
Right.
There's nothing for me head. Like, I like it in a bag because your brain's working as well because you're thinking about what you're going to do and that. So then I was like, I'll go try jiu-jitsu because I just thought I used to enjoy it. It's just good to know, and it's a fucking beast of a workout as well. But
I went with you first time, and I was going to join in. And then I got there, and it's just all these men like running in a circle, and they was like, you just got to jump in. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to just sit here.
It's so intimidating when you first go.
Yeah, because I've been in them before. I kind of knew, like, they're not scary. They seem scary, but everyone who trains there, if it's a good gym, are the nicest people.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
And they want to help.
Sound. They want new people to come in. They don't want to turn people away because otherwise it's bad for the gym, innit?
There's respect and discipline in the art form, isn't there? So.
Yeah. And then what I loved about it was just like, it was like afterwards, it was like you meditating. Like, your brain is so clear afterwards because you're too tired to worry about anything. While you're doing it, you can't think about anything other than that because otherwise you're going to get strangled. And then you finish it, you're knackered, and you go, oh, just pure, like, silence. Do you know what I mean?
That moment after, like, a really tough, like, everyone's been sparring, it's tough, and everyone's just lying there, and you can just hear people, like, heavy breathing. And there's always that one cunt who's really fit, who's just walking around getting the mops and that already. And you're like, but that's exactly it for me. Like, I love, on a summer's day, walking out after the gym, the sun's beaming, and you're like, oh, I just did this really difficult thing.
It was horrible when it was that out, and they were like, put your gear on. And you're like, oh, it's 30 degrees, go. And they're like, so what?
I don't train.
I don't care.
Yeah,
do you not? I like it because you can choke people with their own coats.
Yeah, it's way more, I think it's way more technical thing, but I just
But the difference in them was mad because, like, going from the gi to no gi, you realise how easy it was to move about no gi.
Yeah.
Because people can't hold you.
Oh yeah, and
Like, it was weird.
Everyone's sweating as well, so you have to grab something and then you just pull a couple times and they slide out of it. Mad. I tried to get Darcy to come and get into it, but she was like,
I think it's good to know. I think it's a great exercise. It's good to know.
Smush your face up.
Yeah, you do just get knees and shit in the face whenever.
It's.
Can we have a little 2 minutes just to shoot the toilet and that, and then we do some questions and that? Sorry, man, we're getting heavy into a jiu-jitsu chat.
No, I do that like every podcast.
Feel supreme.
Nice.
Do you remember?
I forgot the brochure again.
Oh.
It's because I haven't been taking me Feel Supreme.
What, because they're here?
Because they're here.
We left them in the studio.
So my memory is not as sharp as it could be.
This is every episode now. I do a live demonstration of the old Nano Mist sublingual spray.
Sublingual? So you can only speak one language when you...
You put it under your tongue. Sublingual.
That would have been... If you're watching the video version, that was definitely zoomed in on Amy's face.
You didn't put it on... You put it above lingual.
I can't lift me lingual up that far.
OD on Nano Mist, bro.
So that's some CBD. They've been going for ages. Feel Supreme.
By the way.
Feel Supreme. They've been doing CBD before a lot of people were years and years ago, seeing them advertising it around. Local brand in Liverpool, sound people who run the company and that. They're just trying to make you feel better. They've got loads of stuff over there, vitamins, mushrooms, CBDs, probably protein stuff. I'll bring the brochure next time, I promise.
So the cordyceps, as we say every time, this is what won China gold medals in the Olympics. So
you want a gold medal out of life? Cordyceps militaris mushroom extract, but do not exceed recommended daily dose. But China did, and they won 4 golds. They might have won more than that, but that's what they were on. It's good for your lung capacity.
Lion's mane. Enhanced absorption.
What's it good for?
Supports memory, focus, and digestion.
It's also award-winning, that lion's mane.
Award-winning.
Award-winning.
Do you want me to do a live demo of this?
No, because I don't think you meant to do it that way, are you?
Why?
Can you just put it in your mouth like that?
I mean, I do drugs, so.
I know, yeah, but it might taste horrible because it's
like
mushroom liquid. So there we go, live demonstration. It's like we're doing a bush tucker trial.
Like alcohol.
Oh yeah, because it's in alcohol.
Yeah.
I don't think you can have that, can you?
Organic cane, alcohol, purified water.
Yeah, but can you break down alcohol? If you
no.
take enzymes from no, I don't think they do that. But yeah, so there's loads of stuff over there. If you use the code TMHC15, you get 15% off.
You just watch me get hench in my head and my
intestines.
Lungs and my intestines, and
it's all good shit for you over there.
Fast.
They offer if you go over there, you're supporting a local business, do some good stuff, trying to make you feel better, trying to make you feel supreme. See?
What's the code, Dean?
TMHC15, 15% off.
Nice one.
Feel 15% better. Riverside, motherfucker. Get yourself some.
Bye.
Bye.
So, I just got my 23andMe results back, and I revealed them on Patreon first, of course, because Patreon, they pay us. But I'll tell you guys now. So I basically, because I've got a Chinese granddad and an Irish granddad, and then English.
That's why I'm laughing at.
It's so funny what I
think my edibles kicked in. I took one just at the start of this podcast, and you know when you're like, this ain't shit, and then the minute I had a Chinese and Irish granddad, I was like,
it's a good mix. But because I didn't know any of them, so I wanted to properly make sure that I was, because I say...
Otherwise you've said some racist shit.
I say Chinese things a lot. And yeah, so I just wanted to make sure I was allowed. And I am. So I found out that I'm 30% Chinese, which is weird. I'm a third Chinese. Like I was conceived in a menage a trois or something. 30% Chinese. That's weird, that, isn't it? 70%.
Usually you think it'd be quarter, wouldn't it?
It should be 25. But and then I was thinking, was like someone's genetics shite, and then the Chinese genetics strong, and
Supreme.
it's like
So
it's
there was some Taiwanese genetics
yeah.
and the Chinese,
Yeah.
and now you call part of it like it's the one China part, but then when you go to America, you have to recognize 5% of yourself as Taiwan. Amy Taipei.
But I've got a nan who she died young, and like her head was on sideways, and
What?
her head was on sideways.
How accurate is this thing then?
It's pretty accurate, isn't it?
I mean, no, wait there. She didn't, on her results, it didn't say your nan's head was on sideways. Because that'd be insane.
I would love that.
I'd love it if they just started rattling off.
My nan's head was on sideways. That's weird.
It does say, it says like 50% chance of dandruff. It says stuff like that. Right.
That's just as there was some in your thing.
So it also said I'm 1.4% French and 2% Neanderthal.
Mad.
Oh,
Which
a
means
lot of
I'm
Neanderthal.
more non-human than I am French.
Which is insane.
Like, yeah, 0.6% more. Wow, it's mad. So
Yeah. And
Neanderthal,
it said that I am 61% more Neanderthal than the average person.
So somewhere down the line, Amy's granddad shagged a Neanderthal.
Or got shagged.
Or got shagged. Yeah.
Yeah.
what was the dominant?
So it's 70% white, and then I think I was mostly Irish.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's what come up at the top, and then 30% Chinese, and that was a mixture of mainland, that was north and south. I'll have a look, shall I? Can't remember.
Have you done one of them?
No, my mum, like I was speaking about, my mum's mental. And when I was
So's mine.
when I was like 7, my mum never knew her dad or anything like that, or any of those sort of verses, which probably played into the mentalness. No, but I mean, like you really played into it, and then so my mum does this thing where she'll just make up a story of where part of our family's from. So when I was like 9, she decided that we were from Pakistan and Japan. So I went into school and told everyone, like, oh my god, like to the Pakistani.
This was why I was worried that I wasn't Chinese.
Because you'd started telling everyone.
No, she'd like, because everything
She told
said.
us that she was Chinese, so she was like, I might not be.
Oh
Yeah.
fuck! Right. So then I was like, oh, turns out like come it's Salam Alaikum, brothers. How's it going? and then like 3 years later, my mum made up that part of my family died in the Holocaust, and I was just sat around at Christmas like, okay, one, that's a horrific thing to do, but what happened to this Pakistani side that we
Japanese Jews?
Yeah, no, and like I was just like, you can't just make that up. But then I was like, she's mental. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, when someone just does something mental and you go, you can't, and then you go, just fuck it. Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I don't know if
you should
it's
do one. Imagine if you come back and you was Japanese.
just came back and my family died in the camp. How did they know this?
Right. So it says like 16.2% North Chinese and Tibetan, and then 12.8% Southern Chinese and Taiwanese. And then I'm also 2% Scandinavian.
But you're more Neanderthal than you are Scandi.
Yes. Well, no, same.
Oh,
The
okay.
exact same.
So maybe it was a Scandinavian Neanderthal.
The abominable snowman.
Fucking hell. That's Looney Tunes there.
I got excited to say it. Yeah, so that's mad, isn't it?
Yeah,
Are
mad.
you going to do one?
I want to do one, yeah. I'll probably be like fucking 50% Neanderthal, me.
I'd love it if it just turned out it was all St. Helens. There's something to tell from the chemtrails in this thing.
I'm also 0.3% Ghanaian and Sierra Leone.
Yeah. So you can
So
say
do you
the
reckon that
M-word now, so.
How many diversity quotas can I get on now? do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, actually
Neanderthal
0.8%.
night.
Neanderthal comedy
Your
night.
second gig is going to be like a Def Jam set.
I want to find out where my nose comes from. That's what I want to like. Just like,
You know?
do you reckon? Yeah, but where's she come from?
That's, yeah.
I think it's my
That's the
granddad.
question.
I'm gonna guess.
that it comes from.
I've got quite a broad nose, and my dad was adopted, and turned out his natural dad was Egyptian Syrian, and then turned out to be a billionaire as well. It was insane. Like the whole thing was fucking crazy.
Wow.
My dad's like this mad socialist.
No way.
And then like his natural dad was like involved in like coups and shit. yeah. Like, mad stuff.
That is mad.
And wrote to him. They had a little email exchange and they were just both kind of like, anyway, man, good luck with everything. just cracked on with their lives.
Mad.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll do one. I'll do one soon and see where we're at, innit?
Yeah, so it's an interesting mix that you come from. Of parental wise,
it's so
Egyptian billionaires,
Egyptian billionaires,
it's a great stock to come from.
It is. I do a little bit of me is like, is he gonna leave us anything in there? But I'm like, I don't think you become a billionaire by being. Googling his name's Joe Dweck. Just give it out. I've got my aunt's a supermodel called Cairo Dweck.
Supermodel.
Yeah, she went out with like Louis Tomlinson from One Direction and stuff.
No way.
Yeah.
How old is she?
Oh man, I looked her up and was like, oh, "Fuck, my aunt's fit." I was like, only half aunt.
DWEK.
Yeah, DWEK. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Business. There we go.
I'm probably not meant to be speaking about all this, but oh well, fuck it.
I've got a photo.
No, you can keep them in. Like, what are they gonna?
To turn it around.
Like, what are they gonna do?
Dean, they're not watching this. Egyptian millionaires.
Yeah, sure.
I would so love it. But no, it'd be a really funny way for her to find out about my existence. It'd be really great if she wasn't enjoying me on the podcast as well. If she thought I was like a shit guest and then was like, "Fuck, we're related."
I feel like is like magician. Is this your dad?
This is your life.
Yeah, that's him. Well,
so is that your real granddad?
That's my natural granddad. Yeah,
wow.
And he was part of like what's called the Mayfair set and stuff, which was all people in London in like the 60s and 70s who were the head of banking, tried to get part of the government overthrown and stuff. Were obsessed with pirates for some reason.
No way. I come from pirate stock as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, they pretended to be pirates. They were like obsessed with it.
Oh no, my dad's cousin was a real pirate.
What?
Your dad was a pirate as well because he was the treasurer.
Yeah, okay. my dad's cousin robbed him and some lads used to rob safes off ships around like Amsterdam, North America and Liverpool and that. And they robbed like £1.5 million and then all got arrested for like, I don't know, however long.
Operation Cabinet.
Yeah, and he was in Charles Bronson's autobiography and that because he spent time with him, I think, in some prison somewhere.
Oh man, your story's way cooler than mine.
Yeah, I mean, it's got nothing to do with me though.
That's pretty cool.
You guys have pirates. And I was like, yeah, some guy I never met sent my dad an email.
But it was, I didn't know. But only found out about it 2 months ago.
Pretty interesting. The supermodel.
Yeah, that was a fun day.
Can we get her up?
Was this the supermodel?
Cairo Dweck, yeah. Shout out Cairo. We're never gonna meet. And if we did, we wouldn't get on. We would have nothing in common.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's insane.
Mad, isn't it? He told me out of nowhere. Like I just went to see him one week.
Yeah,
he was like,
that's her. She was.
Beautiful.
I think
I thought she was older, and when you said she was seeing Liam, whatever, Louis Tomlinson.
I think her mum's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I'm not gonna lie. Genetics. When you look at her family and then you look at mine, I think the mum is the big. The supermodel side is not through the dad.
Do you take after your mum more or your dad?
Oh fuck! Hopefully neither. No, probably more my dad. I definitely have little influxes of my mum for sure. Yeah. But because she's got
leg kicking strangers.
Just sitting in the attic for 5 hours of her setting it. No, she God bless her. Like we have this weird relationship where she kind of knows she's fucked up as a mum, but I kind of just go around there and we sit there and we watch a television show, don't say anything for a couple hours, and I go, I'll see you in 4 weeks. And then I leave and that's just like our relationship. Yeah, right. So, but like I don't hold any grudges against her. As I got older, I realized, when people have mental health issues,
it's nothing they can do in it.
There's things they can do to help, but there's things I could do to fucking help myself. I could learn to drive.
Right.
That's way easier for me to do that than it is for my mum to not drink and then start a fight. But
right.
I've had to completely sever contact with mine just because like I'm not in the best place. I live in such a shithole and I just need to get rid of anything that's going to prevent me from getting myself out of this shithole, which is a bit fucking, I don't know.
Just looking after yourself.
That's it. Like it's the first time I've done that, and it's working for me. And when I've sorted myself out, then I'll have a look.
When you got some money.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do at the minute, and it would only deplete me to deal with all that. So I really just have to like put myself first for now. But yeah, like family's complicated, isn't it? And
yeah, it's mad.
But it's what makes good comedy.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, definitely.
I haven't really spoke about my mum on stage before. I would now. Like, this is actually the first time I spoke about her really in any capacity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I severed contact with my mum when I was a teenager for about 3 years, and it did me the world of good. And you know, like it really hurts her. Like that's the really sad part about things like this is really it really hurts those people that your life kind of moves on and progresses without them. But she was a crazy bitch. Yeah. So she was insane. Yeah. So it was totally fair. Yeah. But at the same time, I now look back and I'm like, oh fuck, I can imagine what that was. As you know, I've got older, more available, emotionally capable and stuff like. Yeah. To see that side,
especially when you start realizing like some people's brains just wired differently. Yeah. And then it just something will go in it, and then it's just done forever. Then and you go, oh, that's just unfortunate. It's sad more than anything in it, like that's happened to someone. But it just can happen to anyone. It just happens to be your man or whatever. You get what I mean? Like,
yeah, and just like
learn that as you grow older as well. Like when you're young, you just sort of like
mental capacity when you've had a baby either.
Yeah.
Which they should.
my mum was part of that generation where you smoked in the car.
Yeah.
Like she that was her, but that was like parenting. yeah, just crack the window a little bit. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Strengthened your lungs.
But she's a sweet woman and she'll do anything for me, you know. But it's not. She came to one gig once that she brought herself to, and like I can't let my mum come to gigs like because it would just be a fucking nightmare.
Do you take over after your mum or your dad more?
I don't know. What in personality wise?
Or appearance?
I think my dad more. If you look at older pictures of my dad, I say me and my dad and my granddad have all got like the same nose. I think big.
Yeah, well,
not too big, but it's a bit bigger than the average.
Mine's quite distinct.
Yeah. Should we do these Patreon questions?
Yeah. Right. Ryan Boxall, hat question, but is it hard having your dad in comedy? Has it affected getting gigs, or has anyone not given you a chance because of it?
Kind of covered that, didn't it? It was
I wouldn't know if anyone's actively
not give you a gig.
Not giving me a gig because of who my dad is. But I wouldn't know how I could find that out.
Yeah.
But I know... Yeah, there's times where people who are my dad's mate then assume they are my mate, which is always a bit weird when you're always a bit like, or they would start telling. But like my dad, it doesn't sound like whenever I speak to any of his old mates, it doesn't sound like he did anything cool. Like, I like to spliff every now and then.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh. That was Mark. He likes a spliff and a beer. And you go, oh, right. There wasn't like, fucking hell, back in the day. Cokey Mark. And like, no.
But it helped you, like you said before. Like, you in places and that, so you did like.
Yeah, but it definitely.
It don't get you so far though, innit? Because if you were shit, it's not. You're not going to get anywhere doing it. Like,
the audience doesn't necessarily know who your dad is.
Yeah, it's just the promoters sort of know, innit? That's how you get the gigs, and you've got to still be good at the gigs.
It'd be difficult for someone like, say, Michael McIntyre's kid wanted to get into stand-up. I think that would be way harder, no matter how good they were, because your dad's like the biggest UK comic.
Yeah.
But like my dad's famous to a group of people, but he's not, and again, you have to, because I grew up in showbiz, I grew up around it. I always have to remind myself of this. Most people haven't been on TV. Yeah. Most people to like being on the television is a huge thing. Yeah. Like this is massive thing. Yeah. And to me, that wasn't that big a thing because most people around my family were on the television in some capacity or did something in show business. So that's the biggest leg up it gives you is you're aware it's a possibility. And once you're aware something's like a viable career, that's a lot of the work done.
Because you don't get that in like a working class
it's the mentality
environment. It's like, I'd never be on there because I'm just this working class guy.
Yeah.
Whereas if you, like you say, if you brought up around it, you go, well, if he's on there, I can get on there. That's my dad. Like, you know, shit like that. And
it's just possible.
It's a good mentality,
That's why what you were saying earlier about like the way the industry is and stuff. The reason it's a lot of posh people is because the thing that private school affords you, I didn't go to private school, but like I know a lot of people who did, is it affords you confidence. It affords you like this mentality. That's what you're paying for. If you walk into a room and there's Latin everywhere, you've gone to a school where Latin is written everywhere, so you're immediately comfortable. You immediately have this idea you deserve to be somewhere. Whereas in working class school, it's like one textbook between four, there's a hole in the wall, it's cold,
it's all in it.
Shut the fuck up. And that's it.
It's like rich dad, poor dad, isn't it? Like it's a completely different mentality.
So think like a rich kid. If you want to try and just a rich kid mentality,
confidence. Like I think we all need to sort of boost each other up. Working class wise, there's a horrible mentality in working class culture where you put each other down. And I don't think
you see someone doing well and
any good.
Something that you like
the crab in a bucket analogy.
Well, that as well. Like I know, like growing up where I grew up, like even if someone does well, fuck them. Right? And
Tall poppy syndrome.
It's mad, isn't
it? Leonie Saunderson says, so looking forward to this one. I know he's going to get loads of cues about his dad, so dead sorry in advance. Who is your dad?
Mark Steele.
I don't know who that is.
What? That's the most horrific thing someone said to me. Just while we were reading a question, who is your dad?
Was that refreshing? No, must be quite refreshing.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. Like it's an interesting, like it's an interesting subject. So like whenever I think when people try to hide the nepotism thing, that's where I'm like, fucking just
what's the main difference? What are the main differences? Okay, sorry. I wanted to know what the main differences are between the circuit his dad started on versus now. Was there anything better / worse about his beginnings and his school of comics? Also, would love to know Elliot's take on NW clubs / audiences, Northwest / audiences in comparison to London. Have a good one.
That's a really good question. Yeah, in terms of the comparison there is now, but between when my dad started and when I started, is there isn't anything like this. So there isn't like comedians hanging around on a podcast, talking shit, getting stoned together. They would just do that in a green room.
Yeah.
I think as well, like I said, it was a punk thing to do back then. You could even look at Harry Hill. The way Harry Hill dresses is slightly punk, the same way Stuart Lee dresses. It's a slightly punk thing from when they started. It was an anti-authoritarian, railing against Thatcher, railing against all of these things, and there was a real community with that. Whereas now, it's a broader thing. It's a business. We're American influenced. So we see it in this very different way. So that's why my dad probably doesn't like a lot or get a lot of the stand-up that I do, even though it could be seen as similar to his. He probably appreciates the joke writing, but I don't think he'd appreciate the subject matter. And kind of vice versa as well, like because he's a brilliant comedian, but sometimes like it goes on and talk about like he politically. I know what he gets annoyed. He gets called a political comedian because he just wants to be a comedian, and I think he kind of got put in this box. Probably partly done by himself by talking about what he was talking about. But he was in a time where the industry put you somewhere and that's who you were. So Mark Steele, we call for question time, but we're not going to call to come do like Taskmaster. And he'd be like, I'd more want to do Taskmaster than like. So I think watching him now see the circuit and not just the circuit, the industry the way it is now, he's a bit blown away by social media, and he really enjoys that. He likes that exists. So I think it's better now.
I think podcasting is a bit punk because it's you're not waiting for permission from the BBC to pick you up or whatever. You're like building your own audience off your own back. That's kind of punk.
Yeah,
building your own scene.
It's very punks doing this and then going, can you spend £5? Buy our merch.
Watch us smoke weed.
Yeah. Hey, guys, it helps the algorithm. Comment, okay?
Comment how punk we are below.
Some of these. Thank you.
But so just in terms of Northwest clubs, I think they're great. I really enjoyed them. London's very different.
Does it walk?
Yeah, it can be. But this is the thing with London, it depends. If you play like the Comedy Store, the Comedy Store isn't really Londoners. It's people who've come to London.
Yeah.
So it's not London. But if you go to Top Secret on a Wednesday night, sometimes you have some kids who, go to uni in London or something, and they come up and they'll hear a few things and they're like, actually, I think, you're like, no one gives a fuck what you think. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is a little bit of that, but it's not as much as I probably would like to make out there is, because it helps my career when I can be like, oh my God, look at these fucking kids angry at a joke. And it's like, it's one person out of the thousands of people that have seen it. That's good numbers.
Yeah.
But the Northwest, I think, is a lot more. The North just wants to have a good night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're all miserable up here. So
Have you guys played London?
No,
I've done one.
Twice.
How'd you find it?
The first one was for a competition, so they were already in a mindset of like, we're up for it anyway.
Yeah.
The second one was a bit more like, it felt like, not like I was abroad, but it did have a sense of like, the shift was so like, and I don't sound like I'm from the North that much.
Yeah, but
even though I am.
They could tell.
So it was a bit like, like you were saying before, like you've got to do 5 minutes of stuff before you can then go, take the piss out of this kind of.
Yeah, London. The one thing I'd say with London though is if you're from the North, you can talk about being from the North in London. If you're from London, you cannot talk about being from London in the North unless you've got like a really good take, unless you're going to shit on London a little bit.
Like a minority up here.
Yeah. It's people. Well, people just don't like us. Because I turn up and I'm like, why are you on that side of the escalator? Move. There needs to be more Pretts instead of Greg's. Get this fucking sorted out. And we wonder why no one likes us.
Yeah. I'm in London in June 9th and 10th, I think. Vauxhall.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's moving. I think that's moved to Peckham now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I've never been.
You'll love
that. So
we're going down that way.
Yeah.
Taking the dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll love it. It's the gigs are good.
Yeah.
Like you'll do it and you'll just realize it's especially those kind of gigs. It's just kind of people with a bit of money, but not like huge sums.
Yeah,
it's just like they're just, they got money to go do a brunch gig or something. They're looking for something to do in London.
Yeah.
That isn't just like go to Soho or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it anyway. See how it goes.
Yeah.
Like, see what happens. Might get a viral clip out of it because I offend someone. That'd be good.
Hopefully.
That's the dream now, isn't it?
So Craig Ferryman says, question for everyone. Recently watched Andrew Schult's special and he had Bruce Buffer introducing him. If you could have anyone introducing you for your special, who would you choose? Morgan Freeman.
Oh fuck,
Morgan
that's a really good one. It would have been Steve.
I mean, it wouldn't hype people, would it? It'd probably put people to sleep, but we can all enjoy it. Like a Twinkie.
I would
Like a Twinkie.
I would have chose Stephen Hawking. That would have been the better. Like have him come out.
I think you can just get that voice on your phone.
Just use Microsoft Sam.
Bruce Buffer's the one.
Bruce Buffer's the don.
Yeah. I'd feel awful following it.
Yeah.
You've got to have some confidence. There's some confidence from Schultz there to go on after that.
Yeah, I'm quite low energy, me, so I'll be like, oh, fucking Bruce there, giving it the biffers. Here's me now. Someone from the Bravery.
No, it would be when I was a kid. When I used to play football, I'd imagine, apart from myself doing commentary, Clive Tilsley.
Oh yeah,
okay. He was like my hero as a kid,
a
little bit because of like if I wasn't picked to play football, I'd sort of watch and like commentate.
Oh, is that why you're so good at commentating now?
Like, but you'd have to bring me on like he was commentating on. So he'd be like, up the stairs, this is interesting. Alan! And then I'd walk out and then...
just go
I don't believe it.
You couldn't write it. Yeah. That's my favourite bit of football commentary. You could not write it. And you're like, someone wrote Star Trek. They could imagine.
He scored the goal. It's football.
Seth MacFarlane be good as well.
Seth MacFarlane.
Oh, you could get a lot of voices.
Yeah.
Seth Rogen would probably be like a.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of people with different voices now, but not necessarily like hyping for bringing you on, innit?
I think it would just. I'd feel like it was detracting from my set too much. From my gig. It would, like, if someone like that was doing it, I'd then be out and be like, it's a very American thing because it's very like cool in Hollywood and like it's a very American thing now. I think that's the one thing like in Britain we probably won't do because you'll be like, British people don't like the idea of just being enamored by a celebrity for the sake of celebrity. Like Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock and Aziz Ansari dropped into Top Secret. I wasn't there for it, and and they were on stage like it was New York, and they all got on together and started chatting. And like it's a London audience, and people just it's a UK audience. And people are like, "Fucking tell a joke, mate." Like apparently, I got a bit like. I think
it was a bit similar in Liverpool as well.
Really?
Like people were sort of just because they just spoke for like 2 hours or something, and then every now and then like a bit would start forming, and then they'd run the bit out a bit. But I think a lot of people were sat there going, "It wasn't that funny." It was just like mad to see, but it wasn't necessarily like you sat there going, "We were laughing for 2 hours straight." Like because they were just workshopping bits and chatting through material and Q&As and shit like that. So
you'd need someone to bring you on who was like, you know, Katie Price or something then, wouldn't you?
Peter Andre.
So
Peter
then you're not like...
Nicest man in show business, apparently.
Is he?
That's the rumour. What a great rumour to have. Yeah. Apparently he is. I know people who've met him and are like, it's true. He is a sweetheart. Apparently he's the greatest bloke in it.
I've seen a video of him being a dick.
Oh.
To Katie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, proper, like,
but
talking down
in show
to
business, he's nice.
I really find a bit overdone where, like, you watch an American special and it's like them walking to the venue and they're like, hey.
Yeah.
And they're like, they walk stage door into like recording. Whereas I just wanted to, if I ever do one, like, just.
Yeah, Shane Todd.
me in the car getting ready for the gig and like just filling up at the petrol station and just like tapping along to some songs. Hey, can I just get a bottle of water? Is that all right? Thanks very much. Cheers. Thank you.
Are you an actor?
Yeah. Where have you come from, mate? Cool.
You're just standing awkwardly in the queue trying to dip past. I'm on. No, wait, don't worry. There's a Doug Stanhope one where at the end of the gig he gets in a limo and goes to the strippers, and as the credits again he's in the strippers, and I was watching it like, this is a bad idea. The special was great, but this was an awful idea. That's a very American thing though, is like showy offy, like showbiz thing, whereas it's just here it's a bit different.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it is.
I think I'd have that
different.
kid who goes, what does he say?
I don't know what I do.
Oh no, not him.
Yodeling.
What does he say?
Kid.
Is it well actually, or I've never been on live television before?
What a kid, yeah.
What's
or
he
the
say?
corn kid. You like corn?
What's the words he says though before he says I've
never been on live television before.
You want to tell him on about the kid?
No, sorry, this is weird.
Coming up next. That'd be cool.
Mike Goldberg. Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
That'd be class.
Do you want to quickly do like embarrassing sex stories? Have you got any of them? Squeeze them in.
I have a few, yeah. Mostly from when I was, when I was like a younger comic. I would go. I shouldn't be telling these.
Best story.
I was go to like Loft Bar in Edinburgh, but then like some 40-year-old comic would buy me drinks and chat me up like some woman, and then like take me back and bang me when I was like 19, and then go and do her show the next day, which is like, here's what's wrong with men. like here's why men suck, and let them know before. One of them rang me one day and was like, yeah, don't tell anyone about that. And then years later, I was telling my girlfriend, just crying, laughing, and she was like, "You got groomed, like you got." And I was like, I'm a guy. It's different. It's a laugh." There was a few of them when I'd go like older women. Like one of them stopped me one time. She was like in her 30s, and she went, "Okay, I can tell you've watched a porno before," and I was just like.
What were you doing that made her say that?
Well, I think I was just probably like, I don't know, going for like a hair pull or something that was that you'd see in like growing up on porn and that. Like, I don't really watch porn anymore because of that. And there was another woman I met. I did this gig. This is back when I was like 21, and they were all like in the fashion industry, and she like helped organised it. And then she was like messaged me a lot on Instagram, and I was a bit like, I think she likes me. And then one day she just like was like, look, why are we just talking? Like, here's my address, come round later. And I was so like, this doesn't happen. Like, this never actually happens. And I went round there, and like I said, when I was like 20, 21, I was an arse. I was so cocky and confident, right? I went round there, talked a good game, we had a few drinks, I went into the bedroom, and I'd say I lasted 2 seconds, and that's generous. And like the disappointment of like afterwards, where I was just
talking the big game.
Yeah, and just sat there and like just trying to make chat with this like, and I was like, anyway, we got to it, and it turned out she was like writing a sex book. Right. And she was like, so yeah, I wanted to include a chapter about like fucking a younger guy. Yeah. And I was like, it's not going to be a chapter. Like, it's at best going to be a couple. Like, I'll be like, with thanks to, just in the back of the book.
I'm dying to make a, is that how you got into Sarah Pascoe's book?
No, you can leave it in, man. That's cool. Yeah. She fucking wrote about it. No, that isn't how I got in. I got into that book because I joked about on a podcast talking about like soliciting a sex worker. And because she, this is the weird thing. I really like Sarah. We've hung out before. Yeah. Always had a really good time. And then she wrote that, and that was like my first bit of show business where I don't like, it's a cold world out there. Like you're these people ain't your friends. Yeah, right. They'll listen to your thing, and then when it fits their narrative, and I don't hold any ill will against her about it at all. Like, I know her I think like fiance comes to play at that five-a-side football thing. It's like a really fucking lovely guy. And I felt bad because I went on Have a Word and called her a cunt. She was, and like, it's a cunt move, but it was. I feel like I probably shouldn't have done that either. Yeah, but also as a child, like, you started it.
Yeah.
Well, okay, well, that's a lovely way to end.
Is that how we're going to end on that? Yeah.
Sorry about that. Just ending on like an apology to Sarah Pascoe.
We finally got it out to him, Sarah. Thanks for messaging us. No.
It's just me trying to show that I've grown as a person, and all during that apology, the little devil was on my shoulder going, just burn the bridge. Do it again.
Oh, well. That's all love, innit?
That's
at the end
showbiz,
of the day.
Kids.
I think, maybe. We don't know. So we're done. So your podcast is BTEC Philosophy?
Yeah, BTEC Philosophers,
Philosophers.
I did it with Michael a while.
Yeah.
Very, very, very
I see the clips and that. I'm not going to say I watch it because that's just one of them, innit? But I see all the clips and it's class. Everyone says that to you. They go, oh, listen to your podcast. Well, I've seen the clips. Like, just say you want. Don't say you don't. Say you don't listen. I'm fine with that. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on.
It's so rude of me to demand people to listen as well. It's so arrogant.
Go on, quote it.
Name all the guests now. But yeah, no, I've seen the clips. Are dead funny, man, and you two together, and you have cool guests on it. And shit,
we've had like prisoners, ex-prisoners, and stuff like that.
And so we got Luke Craig on.
Oh, he was on ours. He's fucking amazing. Yeah.
You've seen the clip of him talking about getting stabbed, and we're like, get that guy on.
Oh, Luke's such a dude as well. He's such a good comic, But
next time, if you're ever both up here, we get you both on.
Fuck yeah, man. Would love it. Mike can't do weed whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
Like, he really...
Or maybe when we're in London, we might be able to do...
Come down. Come jump on ours. Absolutely. Come down, and we'll all get stoned. And I'm watching Mike stoned is so funny. One, like, you'll see it. He just can't. He's autistic, innit? So like, his brain just can't handle It just starts doing maths or something or whatever.
Sound.
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, well, thank you.
Where can people find you as well?
On Instagram at Elliot Still, and on Twitter at Elliot Still.com.
Any specials or anything?
YouTubes and stuff like that. And I'll be doing the Edinburgh Fringe. I'll be putting live dates up at that. I'd love to have people from love this podcast to come see.
Yeah, sick. We'll be up there as well, so we'll see you there. And James, anything going on? Shipping forecast?
Yeah, every Tuesday. Me, you,
Callum,
and
Amy this week.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Bunch of other comics. Come on down every Tuesday. It's good laugh.
Good lineups. Sick. Free drinks. Not free drinks. Drink deals.
Don't say that.
Deals on drinks. Free entry. That's all I was meant to say. And then podcast,
guys.
We're getting there. We are getting there. Sorry.
Are you still? You still got your podcast out?
I've recorded an episode on
the
weekend.
All right. 2024. Here we come.
Yeah. Next Olympics.
Keep an eye out for that at some point. And nice one for coming down, guys. Nice one for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good time. We're gonna go to hot water now. See how that is.
See you later.
See you later, everyone. Nice one. Bye.